Hello my friends, I'm going to show you how you can make a steam bending box for bending wood. Certain projects need to have bent wood, and just like this Windsor chair. This is the armrest is steam bent, and I'm going to demonstrate how this armrest was bent. This is the box. The box was constructed out of pressure treated plywood, outdoor plywood. It's 3/4 inch in dimension. Okay, one sheet of plywood is more than enough to finish this box. Its inside dimension is 10 inch by 10 inch, and it's 6 foot 6 inches in length. And this is an oversized box. It's a permanent box. It will last a very long time. For the Windsor chair, you only need a box that's 4 foot long. This one, I have it over 6 foot so that I can steam bend self bows. Let me show you how it's done. I'm assembling the box with deck screws. These are 2 inch, and these are galvanized, and they should hold up to moisture. If this were drywall screws, they would rust. Placing the screws about 6 to 8 inches apart, and because they're flexed, I started at the middle so that I can move the box, get the edges aligned. Here I'm breaking the edges of the box so that it makes it more comfortable to handle. For supports inside, I'm using these fiberglass rods. And the reason is, if you use any metal, a lot of people will use coat hanger wire, and metal touching wood will discolor it, especially oak. The acid in the oak, it will put black lines right on the wood. So the fiberglass should be able to be a better support for the wood that's going to be going into the box. The rods can be easily cut with a hacksaw. These rods are cut to length, and the ends have been chamfered on the sander. Now they're ready to be inserted into the box. The holes are pre-drilled in the box, and I'm going to insert this. The holes are a snug fit, so it needs to be tapped in. Now, by chance, you may not hit the hole, so take it all the way until you feel it touch the box. Okay, now I applied a little bit of pressure on there. Now we go to the inside. Now I started from the center of the box because I got it to where I can just reach. Now I can feel where the hole is. Now I'm going to push the rod and flex it towards the hole. And you can feel it when it lines up. Then tap the rest of the way in. Inserting a rod, here you can see a little better. Take it till you just hear it hit, and then adjust the hole. Okay, once it's lined up, tap the rest of the way in. This is the bottom of the steam box, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a 5/8 inch hole. I'm going to put one on each end, and this is to allow water to drain, Also, it allows the cold air or cooler air to escape. And I'm doing a hole on both ends so that I can have the box leaning in either direction. You don't want to have the box level. You want to be able to drain the box. I cut 2 pieces of plywood, one for each end. One will be a door that will swing. The other one is being screwed on, and I'm doing this to the outside. I'm putting it on the outside rather than the inside in case I have to make an extension for heating real long pieces of wood. I can easily remove this. To make a lock, I took a hasp, bent it so that when it closes, it will apply pressure, and the catch part right there, that will hold it. Here's the inside of the box, and you can see the fiberglass rods that go through it. This box inside measures 6 foot 6 inches. That should be enough length for me to do most of the steam bending that I do. And you can, of course, for the Windsor chair, you could have a lot shorter box. 4 foot would be more than adequate for that. I've used PVC pipe as a steam box before, and a lot of people do that, but what I found with extended use, that the pipe will collapse, it will warp, it bends. I find that not being adequate. This is 3/4 inch pressure treated plywood, and this will hold up to the steam. Here's parts that I'm going to use as a manifold, and this radiator hose is going to connect the steam generator to the manifold. And this can be done without a manifold, but I want to distribute the heat more evenly throughout the box. I've done it in the past without having a manifold, and the manifold should give me a more uniform heat throughout the box. The length of this manifold, I have holes drilled at every 2 inches, and on the back side, on both ends here, I have drilled drain holes. This will condensate moisture, and we need to let it out. So one on each end should do it. The box will be leaning. Depending on which way it leans, one way or the other, it will drain. Here is my steam source. This is a Wagner steamer. I've had a number of these. There's different type. I have a Hoover, and these you can find at Goodwill, Salvation Army, Habitat, and real cheap, maybe like $10. So this one works fine, and this will be the steam source for my wood box steamer. Here's the manifold being tested. And here is the hookup. The manifold is inserted into the box, and when this is pushed all the way in, that has the manifold sitting dead center. To monitor the temperature, I bought this thermometer, and the time that I use is for every inch of wood. Every inch of thickness of the wood is 1 hour. Placement of the thermometer isn't that critical. I'm going to put it near the end, and I'm going to place it near the door, the access door. So I want to make sure that I have it out of the way, but I also don't want it overhanging the box. Because you only have about 1 minute to do your steam bending, you need to have everything preset so that you can work very rapidly. Okay, you see here I have the steam box sitting on my work table. The far end has a drain hole, so it'll drip from that end. I also put a drain hole at the front end in case I put the incline at a different direction. Okay, here's the access to the steam manifold, and when it's pushed all the way in, the manifold is in the center of the box. Okay, this is the steam generator. It's a Wagner. Okay, then here's the access door. Okay, then right from here to here, this is my bending jig. So everything is set. This is on my table saw. I have it clamped at 3 points, so there won't be any shifting. The table saw is fairly secure to the floor. These pegs are removable. They need to be close. You can't be looking for items that are needed when you're in the bending process. You can see right here, this is a solid block. This circular area is the bending jig. And the stick that's going to be bent, this is green wood, this is the bark side. Bark side will go to the outside. The center line is marked, and I have the center line on these two. So when I pull this out, I have wedges. These will be here, tapped in. This locks it very tight. This peg I'll have ready. I'll bend. You have about 30 seconds for each side. So this will be bent, peg secured, the other side bent, peg secured, and then I'll drive wedges to hold them tight. Now, my only concern is when you're bending, the outside is stretching, the inside is under compression. The center line of the stick is a neutral. Compression is not much of a problem, but in the stretching process there is a tendency that it could start splitting, and that could break the wood. Because this stick has been rived and I kept the outer layer, the bark side right here, this side has not been disrupted. So there's not an edge where the grain was cut. So that should make this stick stronger. If there is a problem, then what I have to do is back it up with a piece of sheet metal with blocks on the end, and that will keep the outside from snapping. Experience is telling me that I better back this up. So here's what you want to do. Get a metal band, and here I got a 4-foot aluminum bar or strap, and I secured a block on both ends like this. and you cut the strap or stick that you're bending to fit just inside that block. And you can see right here at the other end, I'll trim this. A little more than 1/4 inch is going to come off, and then it will be clamped together and go in the steam box clamped with the strap ready to go. Here you can see I have it clamped. It's tight up against each end. Both ends are the same. This is ready for the steam box. I'm placing this up at the top in the steam box. This will have the better temperature, higher temperature at the top. Ready to go. First bend seemed to be fairly successful. This end held. This end here you could see a little bit of slippage. Okay, a couple improvements that I need to make. You can see here the pressure on the jig. It distorted or bent the post. What I'll do is I'll mount this on 2x4s and drill the hole down through the 2x4. It'll give it additional strength. Same on this side. You can see the angle that it left. If you're slightly off your center, you're okay because the arm rest is slightly oversized. Other than that, that's the only change that I need to do with the support. I need a more stable table than my table saw. I need something secure to the floor. I placed my bar clamp on the end, you can see here, and this is going to be left in its form for about 2 days, and that will allow the lignin in the wood fiber to reset, and this would make it a permanent bend. My evaluation of the steam box, the box worked great. The problem that I had was the steam generator. The wallpaper steamer does not hold a large enough volume of water. It holds about a half a gallon. And the problem that I had was halfway through the steaming, it ran out of water, and I noticed the temperature started to drop. And when it started to drop, that was the indicator that it was out of water. So I had to refill. The time that it takes to reheat to steam is lost time of your timing of the wood that needs to be into the box. So that throws your calculations off. You are guessing then at the amount of time that it needs to be in the box. You want to make sure that you don't underheat, but you don't want to overheat either. Overheating can cause some problems with the bending also. So my evaluation is the box is fine, it works great, but what I need to do is get a new steam source, and that could be something simple, just a container to hold the water and heating over a Coleman stove. So that might be my source unless I can find another steam generator that holds. I'm estimating that for the hour of steaming I need about 1.5 gallons of water to make sure that it will make it through the entire hour of steaming. Thanks for watching, my friends. Bye-bye.